In the marketing strategy reset video, first part, which is linked below this video, you have heard 10 reset questions which will help you broaden your thinking and gain better altitude in your marketing strategy discussion. And I'd just like to follow on those same 10 questions and try to provide you with some ideas how you can develop those questions specifically about your digital marketing, which is probably what most strategy discussions are struggling with right now. So I'm going to tell you the reset question which I ask, and I'm going to give you very briefly some ideas about how you develop that question. So the first question was, what do customers want from us? And in digital marketing, you should further consider that question, saying, what are our customers' actual frequently asked questions right now? That's probably enough for you to find out that question. So you're looking at the mismatch between what you are trying to provide and what customers actually want from you. And you should look at the actual frequently asked questions, not the FAQs that you have put up, but try to discover what people commonly ask about, both before and during sales, or after sales, the customer before and after they convert. And try to derive from those questions what the concerns and needs and wants of the customer are. And this really kind of bottomless mine of interesting ideas just in that one question. What are our customers' actual frequently asked questions? Secondly, the thing that customers want, why do they want to get it from us and not somewhere else? To develop that question in the digital space, you should simply ask, what else have customers seen at the point that they look at you? Your customers now are possibly better researched, better informed about your products and about their needs than you are, because you're only focused on your company, and they've spent quite a lot of time presumably looking around at your competitors and alternatives. So what are the customers looking at, and how do you compare to that, and how do you help them compare to that, not try to hide from that competition? Next question was about brand, and if you remember, the wrong question to ask was, what can our brand look like, and what should our tagline say? The correct reset question is, how will people recall our brand? So digitally, you should simply ask, visually, how memorable is our branding? And perhaps beyond visually, how are we supporting that branding with other associations, not just branding a logo in our header, but how do we weave that branding into everything that we're doing? By the way, this is a video from Knowledge Power Limited, a digital marketing agency specializing in strategy consultancy. So that was my little bit of branding woven into a video, not very artfully. You can think of how to do that slightly better. The next point is, what's the number one reason customers leave us? If you remember, that was an important question for understanding really how to improve yourself and get more customers. So in the digital space, you say, how exactly are we capturing and analyzing complaints and customers who leave us? Probably when customers leave you, they will have some kind of touch point with customer service, or often, horror of horrors, with finance. You should look at what you're doing to feed that back right to the top of your product and service development, and keep on asking that question, because if you're only dealing with positive ideation in your marketing, you're probably missing the ground level point of view of your customers, and when they leave you, it's quite important to try to find ways actually to incentivize them to tell you what went wrong. And at the pre-sales point, well, 99% of the people visiting your website or digital materials are not going to convert. So that's a huge silent majority of people who have found some kind of fault with you, or at least haven't found anything particularly compelling about you. And your job really is to try to find ways to capture words and opinions from those customers. Sort of the anti-testimonial, if you think about it. The next point is, what significant advantage is there for a customer to take action? This is the conversion question. And so you've got to ask, in digital marketing, at what digital point do you expect the customer to take action, and why should they take action at that point? And what is the advantage for them to take action at that point? Are you giving any sweetener or advantage and helping the customer nudge their way through a conversion? The next reset question is about how to give more value to a customer. Instead of thinking about how to drive your prices down, perhaps you think about how to maintain a higher price or drive a price up by delivering more value. And I think in the digital space, you've got to think about how can you deliver more utility to a customer? How can you be more useful? And maybe even think about how to be more personalized or artificially intelligent in what you do digitally to be more of a help to your customer. That's a lot of value in the digital space. And I'll try to go beyond just information. This is a highly wordy informational video. Probably the next thing I should do is try to provide you with the checklist of things I'm talking about that would have more utility. But hopefully a video is of more utility than text. So try to work through the sliding scale of trying to make your utility for customers more accessible, I think. The next point is how can we provide for a wide range of customers without that muddling up everyone else? The customers don't like to hear things that are irrelevant to them. So I think what you should think about digitally is what broadcasting are you doing? That seems to be rather too much one size fits all. How can you steer customers into a space that's closely relevant and focused on them and not talking to other types of customer? How does your navigation and content work as you do that? And if you look at your social media and email marketing, you'll probably always be able to find a way to improve that, not to be talking to everyone always at the same time. Nextly, is that a word? Nextly? It is a word now. What would it take for our customers to recommend us? This question not of how to improve our reach online, but actually just how to make it worth your customers recommending you. And I'll probably give you two questions in the digital space here. First of all, again, look at the customers. You said look at the anti-testimonials, look at the frequently asked questions. Look at what people are actually recommending for you for currently, and go and try to understand those things, and try to find people who may be close to recommending you, people who are satisfied customers, and try to draw out of those what exactly it was that led them to not just be happy but say something about it, and try to amplify that dimension of what you're doing. And the other thing I think is a slightly more subtle question: what do customers stand to lose by recommending you? I should probably go into that in more detail, but just think about that. When customers recommend you, what do they lose? For example, if you are a sex toy seller, customers lose quite a lot by recommending you. There's a threat to their reputation. That's an extreme example, but to some degree, any product or service has a sort of boredom level or privacy level or undiscovered secret that only that person wants to know about, and where sharing it with everyone else probably might not be to their advantage. So what can you do about that? That's a difficult one. Ninthly, how can we help a lot more people than we do currently? I think you've got to think here, what are you doing that's free? What are you doing that is asynchronous and global? These are the key points of digital marketing. You can replicate something, you can create lots of web traffic very easily, you can give stuff away, especially information, advice and utility. And think about what you're doing that's free and it's expanding to a lot more people. So instead of advertising, you're going out there and saying, how can we reach more people to help them? And try to think non-scarcity for that. Finally, what would our business have to look like for the motivation question to be redundant? I think that you should look within your whole organization and team and say, what are people good at online that's relevant to your customers? So which of your team members are closest to actually being customers? They're like the shoppers because they actually like these products and they shop for it. How can you connect those people with your customers more? And who in your team are the experts which can generate that asynchronous, global, free utility and value for people? Because once you connect people who in your team who are like your customers with those customers, and the people who are experts with the people who need their expertise, the motivation question is probably not that important anymore, because everyone's going to be quite happy with doing that kind of job. And I think you should try to approach that by dissolving the idea that marketing professionals are the only people who can do digital marketing, and try to remove technological barriers which mean that non-techie people can't deal with the digital side of things. There's really no excuse for that anymore. Everyone in your organization has got to get digital sooner or later. So that's the end of those digital marketing strategy tips. I think the short takeaway, if you've been very nice enough to watch this far, is just try to say, don't restrict a digital marketing strategy conversation to digital marketing strategists or digital marketers. It should be a question for your entire organization. It needs to be led from the top, but it needs to involve as many people as possible, and think big, think high altitude before you get stuck back into the details of implementation. I'm George Bailey. This is a message from Knowledge Power Limited. You'll find our web address in the bottom. Do feel free to contact us about your digital strategy questions. Thanks very much.